Yes, friends. So let's discussing about this one. So what we have to learn about that we have to think, we have to just learn, or we have to note down that which planet is exalted in which sign. For example, as I did tell you, I've written down these. Exaltation sign, everything again, because I've taken two horoscopes also. I'll just show you that how the number of planets, if are placed in their own signs, in exaltation signs, then how the status of a person is increased in the society, in the world, in the country, or whatsoever. Okay, even his or her. Okay, next generations will remember them or remember him as a person or as a lord, as a whatever, as a Mahapurusha or something. So I've taken two horoscopes of Lord of Sri Ram and Sri Krishna. How Sri Krishna's horoscope is cast, or how Sri Ram's horoscope is cast, that I'll talk about from where I have taken this. And there are a number of views regarding this, because most of the, what do you call, the foreigners or Western thinkers, because they are left liberals or historians, even in India, they just think that all these things were mythology and this and that. Okay, they have taken the words of the Westerners or Western British people who were just not considering, initially the Indian culture as the real culture, or they were just thinking that everything is myth or mythology, right? Everything is myth. Myth means which has no any base, no existence, nothing else. Okay, but now it has been proved that all these things are real, true, and according to our Vedas or scriptures and other scriptures, even Purana, Bhagavad Purana, Srimad Bhagavad Purana talks about Lord Krishna's birth time. Even Valmiki Ramayana and Tulsidas Ramayana, they talks about Ram's birth horoscope or birth time. Okay, so everything is just explained, and nowadays everything is now excavated. Even existence of Saraswati River was initially taken as a myth, but now it has been proved that the source of Saraswati River was dried up, and because of that Saraswati River stopped flowing and this and that. Okay, so everything is now clear. So now, because we know Vedic astrologers or Vedic scriptures, or Sanatani Hindus or Sanatani people in India or Indians have believed in the science. Now they say that Vedic scriptures and Vedas and other scriptures, even Bhagavad Gita, everything talks about science. Astronomical facts I'm talking about. Because these astronomical facts are not found elsewhere in the world. Okay, Mahabharata is full of all these things. All other scriptures are full of all these things. As I've talked about, that Rig Veda talks about, moon is taken as a measurement of time, instrument of measurement of time. So since then, Rig Veda's times, we have taken astronomical facts as a true one. Okay, we are the lovers of nature and this and that. I've already talked about all these things, so it's not to be taken as a myth. We have to just consider whether this is true or not true. As I've told you, that we have to consider those things. Yuktiktum bacho graham baladapi shukadapi. Okay, yukthinam bachastyajam vardadapi shukadapi. Okay, if the statement is not consistent, is inconsistent, cannot be accepted, even if it is said by an experienced person, by an old man. Old man doesn't mean that old by age, but old person by experience. Okay, or through his experience, even that experienced person is talking about something which is not logically true, is not scientifically facts, that should not be accepted. Even Vedvyas' son Shukdeva. Okay, Shukdev himself comes and he tells that accept it, because he is considered as Maharshi or greatest among the Maharshis or Rishis, right? So Shukdeva himself, if he says that accept it. So Vedic scriptures are based on science. Okay, now they say that because it is everything is now people in Western countries were talking about that Earth is just like a not ball-like, not round form, or in the round form, in the ball form, but it is just like a chapti or something. It's a flat and this and that. Okay, these are the Western thinkings of previous time or past times. But now it has been proved by science or through science or astronomically that Earth is just like a ball, okay, or flatten or something, or is that is other thing, that it has some slope and this and that, but is ball type. Everything is spherical shape of all the heavenly bodies. It is spherical shape. While in spherical shape, everything is very much formed as a solid one. Okay, its form is not destroyed easily. So spherical science, I mean science, we talk about in mathematics, spheres. Why spheres is very much solid body. All the astronomical bodies are in the spherical shape. So Earth is also in the spherical shape. If we go into the space and from there we see the Earth, the shape of the Earth is ball-like. It's just a spherical type. This spherical shape of the Earth is described in the Vedic scriptures or astronomical facts. We have talked about a lot of things are just proved. It is science-like, but even a number of people who are just still they are left liberal historians or they are Nehru brand historians. They still consider that whatever is said in the Vedas and everything is just myth and this and that, because they still believe in British people, British culture, and Britishers were tried their best to just try to be smart, and they formed the story of what you call Aryan theory and this and that. Aryan, it doesn't exist here in India. Now it has been proved that there is no existence of any Aryans and this and that. Nobody came to India just because all the people who born in India, they started the Indian civilization. Okay, so Aryan means a noble person, gentleman, this and this. Because in Sanskrit sloks or Sanskrit verses, Aryan word has been used, Ariputra and this and that. That I have already talked about. Now come to the point. So what we have to remember in case of exaltation of science or exaltation degrees, okay, of particular planet, that is very important, because whenever we predict about a horoscope, that in that horoscope exaltation sign, if the planet is placed in its exaltation sign, in which sign a planet is placed in a horoscope, or is it near about its deep exaltation degree, or is it in debilitation sign. Okay, so as I talked about all these things, okay, in the previous two lectures, two lecture series. Now this is the third lecture series which I am just talking about. Okay, so in this case I am taking the ninth lecture. This is ninth lecture. In this I have already talked about two lectures, and now this is third lecture in the same series, lecture C. Okay, in this lecture series I am just talking about what we have to remember. We have to just remember that which planet is exalted in which sign. First, signs we have to remember in which signs the planets are exalted. Second thing is the degree of their exaltation. Okay, if we are not remembering them, just note down, and just whenever you just find anything, any planet exalted or not exalted, just check that in your notes and this and that. So any person who is learning astrology or Vedic astrology, then that person has to note down all these things which we are discussing about. So whosoever is seeker of knowledge, okay, as I always say, that study everything in the world, whatever is available, then compare all those things, Western culture and Indian culture and this and that, you will find a lot of difference, because initially people were not learning all these things. They were just claiming that this is superior, ours is superior, but nothing is superior except the Vedic astrology is superior one, because through the Vedas or through the Vedic scriptures, we have come to know that astronomical facts which are found in Indian scriptures is now declared as the best science by the American scholars and American professors, okay, of astronomy and science of astronomy. There in the America or in USA, those people are now claiming that Indians Vedic scriptures or Vedic astrology is based on astronomy, which is 100% true science. But still, I do not consider it a complete science. The reason is, when we discuss about astronomical facts, undoubtedly it is a science, but it's interpretation based on experience of a person. Okay, but results are 100% true, because if we are true according to the astronomical facts, degree and everything, science, exaltation sign, degrees and everything, then we can claim that this prediction is 100% true. It will happen, and that happens. As I have told you in the, I think, beginning lectures, first or second or third lecture series or maybe prediction series, that even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that there are 5 things. The last is 5th thing. First is Adhishtanam Tatha Karta. What is Adhishtanam is? The body. The body must be there to do a work or to do a task, to do something. There is a requirement of 5 things. What are the 5 things? The fifth last thing is destiny or your providence, but be considered astronomically or astrologically that if your time period is appropriate one, then that activity, that action of your will be fructified, will be positive. Okay, that is known as Daiv. Daiv means the providence or destiny. So destiny is the fifth. Adhishtanam tatha karta, karanam cha prathak vidam. Okay, Bibdas cha prathak chesta. Okay, Daivam chaivatra panchama. They say Daiva means destiny is the fifth one. First is Adhishtanam. Adhishtanam means body, the physical body of a person is the first requirement to do a work, to do a task, right? Second thing is Adhishtanam tatha karta. Karta means the doer, the person's soul or the person. I mean, whosoever whose body is there. Because if a person's body is not active, suppose limbs are, the person is limbsless or organsless, feet are not there, foot is, or I mean hands are not there, how the person can function then? How a person can do anything, can write anything, can do something? So first thing is physical body, existence of physical body. Then the karta. Karta means doer, the person who is going to do that task. Or maybe the whole body must have the senses, the sense or the doer, the soul. The soul must be there inside the person, or the person must be there. Okay, so karta, doer. In this case, karta means doer. Adhishtanam tatha karta. Tatha means end. Adhishtanam tatha karta. Karanam cha prathak. Karanam means here different kind of senses. Now there are 13 senses, they say. First is 2 feet, 2 hands, right? Even mouth is there, okay? Or your eyes are there, your ears are there, and your skin is there, your, okay, hands I've talked about. So 2 and 2, 4, and your limbs are there. I mean your secret limbs, or may say your anus is there, your, okay, your delivery, I mean what you call, the organic limbs are there. Okay, oh, the organic limbs means your anus and everything. Okay, so those secret limbs of a person, they are also doers. With the help of those things, we do something. That is their, okay, a particular activity. So that activity can be done only then when person is having that limb. Okay, that okay, so that is the person's organs, right? So secret organs of a person, they are also organs. I mean senses. So senses. 13 senses, or all these senses must be there. So karma means the senses. The person must be must have the sense. Sense means the activity. To do the activity, the person must have sense or thinking or anything, the idea of doing that work. That is how senses are there. Senses must be very much active. So third thing is senses. The person must have the senses who is doing the work. Adhishtanam tatha karta. Tatha karta, karanam cha prathak vidam. Different kind of karna means, karna means here senses. So different kind of senses must be there. Only then person can do an activity. This third thing. So body, okay. Then the doer, the karta means doer here, the person who is going to do, and he must have the senses. Those 13 senses we'll discuss later. All the organic limbs and everything, with the help of which we do the activity. Like hands, with the hands, suppose I want to do something, I have to lift something, then hands must be there. Only then a person can lift something. Or write, suppose if a person is going to write, he must have a, fingers with the hand or hand with the fingers. Only then a person can write. This is the third one. Okay, so karnam cha prathak vidam. Now vividas cha prathak chesta. Chesta means the efforts. Vividas cha prathak chesta. Different kinds of, vivid means different kind of efforts. This is the fourth one. The fourth activity is efforts. Doesn't mean that you have the senses but you are not doing any efforts. This is how Bhagavad Gita talks about. This is the verse number 14, chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. The 18th chapter. There are a total 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, in the Sri Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita, which is national, scripture of India, right? Which is considered by the court now. Court has accepted that Gita, it doesn't mention about any particular religion, particular dharma. It talks about duties of a person. the person must do. Talks about all the people of the world, of the earth. So it doesn't show any religion, Hindu religion and this and that. No, it doesn't talks about any religion. So Bhagavad Gita is the national scriptures or national granth, national national book. Yes, national book, religious national book, not religious but national book we say. So this is national book. Now come to the point. So, national cultural book or something. So Bhagavad Gita 14th verse number 14, chapter number 18 talks like this. Adhishtanam pratha karta, karanam cha prathak vidam, vividascha prathak chesta. Chesta means efforts. Vividascha means different kinds of efforts must be done by a person. Doesn't mean that the person is having senses, but he is not doing any, or the person, it may be a woman, or she is not doing any efforts. So efforts must be done by that person, whosoever is doing that activity. Now these are the 4 things we have completed. Now then it says that okay, we have applied all the efforts, we have done all the efforts, activities, senses we are having, body we are having, efforts we have done, we are the doers, okay, person is doing everything. All these 4 activities are completed, work is finished. But the result will be positive or negative, that doesn't, we cannot do that. We cannot say that result will be positive always. It may be negative also. It depends upon Daiva. They say Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. Fifth Pancham means fifth. Fifth is Daiva. Daiva means destiny, your providence. Your destiny, now destiny is decided by astronomical planets. They say Vedic astrology talks that suppose your period is this, good period is coming, and during this period this kind of efforts you will do, and your efforts will be fructified, your efforts will be positive. Okay, so for that you have to do the efforts. So all these 4 things are required: body, doer, senses, efforts, different kind of efforts, and the 5th one is Daiva. Daiva means destiny. So destiny or your providence will be fructified, or it will be, your efforts will be converted into positive result, your result will be positive, your result will be fructified. That depends upon Daiva. Okay, Daiva here, Sanskrit word Daiva means the providence. Finally, the providence is presented through your transit of planets, your period, which period is running, Mahadasha, Vimshoti Dasha, which is running, or your planets are very positive. Okay, in that particular house in which your efforts is indicated by that house. Okay, so all these things are mentioned in our scripture. This is one example I am talking about. Now undoubtedly Bhagavad Gita is the part of Mahabharata. Mahabharata's part is Bhagavad Gita, because in between Lord Krishna taught all those things to Arjuna, right? So Arjuna, when was, he was not going to fight with his enemies and this and that. After that, Lord Krishna preached him. He talked about Bhagavad Gita. So this is a part of Mahabharata in which Lord Krishna talks like this. So this is one of the points that Arjuna, you have to do. These things are required. But even then, Daiva is the 5th one. Daiva means, and Daiva, who know the Daiva, is Daivagya, Agya, Daivagya. Last word Gya means the person who is knowing. Daivagya is used for astrologers in Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, astrologer or any Vedic astrologer or astrologer is known as Daivagya. Daivagya means the person who knows the destiny, the providence of a person or anybody. So Daivagya word is used for Jyotishi or an astrologer. An astrologer is known as Daivagya. Daivagya word is used for astrologers. Daivagya. This is Daivagya. So Daivagya word is used for astrologers. Daivagya. Daivam Chaivat Chamatra Pancham. Chaivat Pancham. Daivam Chaivat Pancham. They say the Daiva is the last one, the 5th one. The 5th one is your result will be fructified or not fructified, will be positive or not, is converted into your final result. Okay, you will be selected in that particular activity of yours or not, or in that competition. You will be passed in that efforts of yours or not. It depends upon your destiny, your providence, and providence is decided by with the help of these astronomical facts and astrological facts or astronomical facts, because astrology, Vedic astrology talks about this Daiva, providence, destiny. Okay, this destiny is being decided by the people. Okay, so first is body, as I've talked about. So these are the things which are discussed in detail by almost all the past people, present people, and in future also. All these things will be discussed in detail, right? Or are being discussed in detail, because Daiva here is used for astrologers, and astrologers, Daiva is known by the astrologers because not all people are knowing, but if they are understanding the facts, all those astronomical things and all the rules, regulations they are understanding, then they can predict very easily. Okay, it's not a very different thing. It's a scientific subject, science subject based on facts, astronomical facts, and astronomical facts are 100% true. Longitude, latitude we can calculate. That is a very easy thing. Now we are talking about this thing. So as I've just talked about that, what we have to remember as a person, we have to just remember that which planet is exalted in which sign. And there are certain, as I've just told you, that how Saturn is debilitated. Saturn is debilitated in Aries, one sign. Saturn is Saturn. Saturn is debilitated in Aries sign, exalted in Libra sign. Just opposite of Sun. Sun is exalted in Aries sign and it debilitated in Libra sign. See here, the Sun. The Sun Aries sign, exaltation sign is Aries, but Aries sign is a debilitation sign for Saturn. And in the Libra sign, Sun is debilitated. This is 1-7 position. Always remember that if a planet is exalted in a particular sign, then just opposite to that 7th house, whichever sign is there, in that sign the planet will be debilitated. So 1-7 condition. How? So this is 4th. Jupiter is exalted here in Cancer sign. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer sign in Sri Ram's horoscope, Lord Krishna, Lord Ram's horoscope, or Sri Ram's horoscope. So Lord Ram's horoscope is having Lagna or ascendant as Cancer sign, in which Jupiter is exalted. Why Jupiter is exalted? Jupiter is exalted in Cancer sign. Okay, degree is 5 degree undoubtedly. Degree I am not writing there because all these things we will discuss later whenever we will discuss about famous people, famous personalities, and Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, they are known as Mahapurusas. Okay, we do not consider they are incarnate. We all are incarnations of God. Why? Because we are the part of God. As Vedic scriptures talk about, Vedas talks about that every person is a part of God. Our soul is just going to be liberated. If your horoscope talks about that, you will be liberated. How it can be liberated? Liberation is 12th house source. That person can be liberated if in that house or 12th house is having exalted sign or exalted planet. Planet is exalted in 12th house. That means person's liberation is there. Liberation means the person's soul will mix with God. Okay, with Ishwar, with the creator of the universe. Okay, that is how Vedic scriptures talk about. But other people have different kind of thinking, different kind of theology. I'm not going to do that. Not going to discuss about that because we have to discuss about Vedic scriptures. We are not going to compare all those things. But if as a comparative study or as a person, logically, if any person wants to do something, they can research upon. They can go through Western things or Western scriptures or Western books, Western religious books and all those things. Okay, whatever books are available to them. So study all kinds of scriptures. I always talk about my students. I always tell them that please study everything, whatever is available in the world. Okay, after that you can compare yourself, that where you are existing, or standing, what is your existence, what is others' existence, so how the comparison is done. Okay, logically, be Vedic scriptures or in Vedic scriptures or in India, our civilization talks about the science. If you believe in the science, then believe it. If you have the logically satisfied, then you can believe that thing. If not satisfied, then you are not to believe in that. That is how we can compare. But in Western things, Western people, they just force everything. You have to believe in this, not believing, you will be then killed or this and that. Okay, so their thinking is something different. We are not going to force anything. If you are satisfied, accept it. Not satisfied, that is up to you. Okay, this is how Indian scriptures are talking about. This is better for universe. How it is better for universe? But we say, Sarve bhavantu sukhina, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyanti, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Reason is, Sarve means all people of the world must be happy or happier one. Why Sarve bhavantu sukhina? Every person must be happy. Okay, Sukhi means here happy. Okay, full of pleasures and everything. The person must be pleasure. Everybody must be happy. Okay, Sarve bhavantu sukhi. Sarve means all. It doesn't mention any particular religion, particular dharma, particular sect, nothing. This is how Vedic scriptures talk about. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu niramaya. Niramaya means without an ailment. A person is, every person or all people must be free from ailments. Okay, as we are just distributing these days, COVID-19 vaccine has been not invented, is manufactured or is pharmaceutically manufactured by the scientists here in India, and now this has been distributed to different countries. So this is how we say that Niramaya, every person of the world must be without ailments. All people must be without ailments. No, they must not be suffer with any kind of disease, ailments. Okay, so Sarve bhavantu sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyanti. Sarve means all people must look gentleman type. They must look bhadra people. Bhadra means gentleman. So all people must be looking type like a gentleman. Okay, all must be gentlemen. It has been expected. It has been expected from our praise to God that yes, all people must be, all people must be, okay, what you call, given, okay, or what you call, blessed by the God, blessed by Ishwar, blessed by Creator, that every person must be happier one, without ailments, okay, or look like a gentleman. Bhadrani pashyanti, every person looks like gentleman, must be very pleasant person, must be very happier. Nirogi means without any ailments. And the third point is Bhadrani pashyanti, every person must be look like gentleman. Okay, Bhadra people. Bhadra person means higher type of person who is just without any worries. Okay, without any what you call ailments, or not what you call worried people, okay, without worries, gentleman looking type person. So personality must be very pleasing one, that is being Bhadrani person means every, or Sarve bhavantu sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyanti, ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. They say that ma means here negative word, not, okay, not ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Nobody must suffer with any kind of what you call suffering. Dukha bhag bhavet. Every person must be free from any kind of suffering. There shouldn't be any dukh. Dukh means here any kind of suffering. Okay, there shouldn't be any kind of suffering to anybody, any person. This is how our scriptures talks about all the people of the world, of the universe, of the world, of the earth. This is how difference is in our Vedic scriptures and other scriptures. We can just talk about other things you can go through. I'm not going to discuss about others comparison, because we are not comparing our scriptures with others, because Vedic scriptures are superior one all over the world. This kind of thinking, this kind of civilization, this kind of scientific views cannot be found elsewhere. This now has been proved by the people, right? Now come to the point. So what we have to remember, we have to just remember which planet is comparison. Saturn, Sun, we can compare, they are exalted, debilited. Similarly, Jupiter and Mars. See here, Jupiter. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer sign, but debilited in Capricorn sign, 10th sign, and exalted in Cancer sign, but